So why have I chosen Psalm 23 this morning when it's a theme this week about hope? Well, Psalm 23 I think is full of hope. It's a psalm of hope. I have all I need. That feels like present and future. He shepherds me and he's with me. That's a hope, isn't it? He gives rest and refreshment. That's a hope for our lives. He's with us in hard times. His rod and his staff, they protect us. They seem like things of punishment, don't they? But actually they're protectors. They're items of protection. He enables me to feast and he anoints me. And I'll be with him forever. All lines of hope. But that's not the line that I wanted to focus on. The line I wanted to focus on is he restores my soul. He refreshes my soul. Just think for a moment, how's your soul today? When did you last think about your soul? Did you think about it when you got up, or a couple of weeks ago? Last year? Actually, that's not that long ago now, is it, last year? How often do we think about the state of our souls? And what's the state of your soul? Is it wounded? Is it scarred? Sore? Is it hurting? Bruised? Besieged? Is it in need of healing? Is it in need of balm? Is it in need of restoration? What's the state of your soul today? Beginning to think lots of things about restoration. When God says he restores our soul, what exactly does that mean that he does? I wonder what restore means to you. And as I thought about restore, I thought about furniture restorers. They do a good job, don't they? They recover and they sand out bits. I remember when I was little, and my brother was little, my brother was given a toolkit that had a saw and a chisel, children's saw and chisel. He managed to gouge a hole in the arm of one of the armchairs because the chisel worked. And my mum and dad weren't that pleased with him. Bit of sandpaper, there was always a dent there evermore, but at least it wasn't a sharp one. They take out the woodworm damage, don't they? Furniture restorers, they patch up, they mend. What about restorers of paintings? They restore, don't they? In fact, they restore so well that actually you can hardly see where they've done it so often. They clean it up, they take off the old cracked varnish. They fill in little bits of colour that have got lost along the way. They make it like new. What about a restorer of clocks? They get clocks that have stopped working again, don't they? What about a doctor? Restores health. What kind of restoration do you need today? Or what kind of restoration maybe have you received this week, those of you that have been staying here? And there are other types of restoration. Houses are restored and refurbished, aren't they? Gutted and redone. New kitchens and the like. New bathrooms made better. Updated. Comfortable. Gas fitted and, all that kind of stuff. Heating that works. Maybe you need a refurb or a refit or something like that. But there's one more that I think is also really helpful to think about. What about the sense of restoration when it is put back to its rightful place? We say the picture was restored to its rightful place. Perhaps it's been taken down for a type of restoration and it's been restored back where it belongs. There's quite a lot of chatter going on at the moment about the Elgin marbles, isn't there? Currently living in the British Museum. Should they be restored to the country that they came from? I'm not going to go any further than that with that particular subject, because we could get sidetracked down a tricky path. But anyway, should they go back to what some people would consider would be their home? Sheep, as you may know, are wandery creatures, aren't they? And there's a phrase about sheep that they nibble themselves lost. They nibble themselves lost because they nibble here and they nibble there and they nibble over there. They nibble over there and they don't look back to see where everybody else is. They nibble there and they nibble there, and before long they're out of sight, without even meaning to be. And then they're on their own, vulnerable, because they haven't got the protection of the shepherd, they haven't got the rest of the flock around them, frightened, anxious. And sheep in Bible times were even more at risk if they wandered, because they didn't wander in a nice field with a nice hedge around it that said to the sheep, this is the area you can wander in, stay in here. They didn't do that. There weren't that kind of boundary and barrier. They just wandered over the hillside, and the boundaries between that owner and this owner were kind of invisible. And if they wandered over the line, their ownership moved from this person to this person. And so they needed restoring back to where their owner was, their true owner was. And sometimes that happens in our lives, doesn't it? We need restoring back to our true owner. And the shepherds, if they didn't take care, would find their flock dwindling as the owners all around gained from his sheep. So with God. He does not want to lose any one of us. Doesn't want to lose any of us. So he shepherds us. He restores us. And of course, Jesus told the parable of the lost sheep, didn't he? How the one was precious, precious enough that somebody was sent to look for it and bring it back, to restore it back to the fold. The opportunity to start again. Who doesn't need that sometimes? Can we just let all that go, God, and can I just start again? Every day, his mercy says, yes, you can. So just pause for a moment. How's your soul?